You know what? I'm fine with losing my keys sometimes, and I'm even okay with losing some hair. But one thing I refuse to lose in my senior years is my dignity. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple ways to protect your dignity as you age. Not in theory, but in practical and actionable ways that you can use in everyday life. And make sure you stick around until the end, because later in the video, I'll explain a point that will allow you to put all of these puzzle pieces together and be seen again. Because when it comes to your dignity, it's not just about how the world sees you, it's about how you see yourself. It's the way you stand up straight, even when your knees ache. It's how you make your own decisions, even if they take a little longer. It's having a say, a choice, a voice. But let's be honest, dignity can be hard to hold on to. When the world starts treating you like you're made of glass. When people talk about you instead of to you. When your needs are brushed off as just part of getting older. And if you've ever felt invisible in your own skin, you are not alone. We are here with you. We are here for you. And you are not powerless. That being said, I want to take a moment to talk to you about something important. I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Haha, just kidding. But I did want to say that if you are looking for a community of like-minded people from all over the world who are working through the same struggles, make sure you subscribe and say hi in the comments. Both are free and easy and can help us reach and help more people. Okay, let's dive into the video, and we'll start with something most people overlook. But it could change how you're treated at every doctor's appointment moving forward. Number 1. Advocate for yourself at appointments. Let me tell you about Georgia. She's 78, sharp as ever, but a little slower on her feet these days. Last year, she went in for a routine checkup. Her blood pressure was off. The doctor barely looked up from the chart before saying, "Typical at your age, we'll just add another pill." And just like that, Georgia went from a person to a patient. No questions, no conversation, just a decision made for her. She told me later, "It felt like I disappeared in that room, like I wasn't even in my own body anymore." That's the moment dignity starts to slip. Quietly, invisibly, in places where you're supposed to feel seen. But Georgia didn't let it go. The next time she came in, she brought a list of questions, typed and bolded. She asked, "What's the root cause here? What are my other options? Is this something we can monitor instead of medicate right away?" And you know what happened? The doctor slowed down, looked her in the eyes, treated her like a person, not a number. Advocating for yourself isn't always easy. It's uncomfortable. It takes energy. But you know what costs even more over time? Staying silent. That silence can lead to the wrong treatment. It can leave you feeling small, confused, or dismissed. And worst of all, it teaches your brain that your voice doesn't matter. So here's a quick checklist before your next appointment. Write down your questions, even the dumb ones. Bring someone with you if you can. An extra set of ears helps. Ask the doctor to slow down or explain again if something doesn't make sense. And don't leave without knowing exactly what's happening next and why. This is your body, your life, and your voice deserves to be in the room. So the next time you head into an appointment, don't just show up, speak up, because standing tall in the exam room is just one form of dignity. In a few minutes, I'll share a moment where someone even protected their image and reclaimed their dignity. With a sentence so simple, it shut down the judgment and opened up connection. But first, we need to pave the way to that step by learning how a simple 5-minute ritual can bring back a sense of control without anyone else's permission. Number 2, keep a small routine that's just for you. Dignity doesn't just come from how others treat you. It also comes from the quiet rituals that remind you who you are. And sometimes those rituals can be as small as making your bed the way you like it. Let me introduce you to Henry. He's 83. Every morning before he even pours his coffee, he puts on cologne. Same brand he's worn for 40 years. He once told me, "If I smell like myself, I feel like myself." No one's asking him to. No one else may even notice, but he notices. And that little act, it tells his brain, "I still matter." As we get older, so many of our decisions get handed off or stripped away. Other people start cooking for us, driving us, telling us when to show up, where to sit, what to do. And when you go too long without choosing anything for yourself, even something small, you start to forget that you can. But that's exactly why a small routine can be so powerful. It's a signal to yourself that you're still in charge of something, even if it's just which mug you use or what time you fold the laundry. I knew a woman, Dolores, who wore lipstick every morning before breakfast, even when she wasn't going anywhere, even when her hands shook a little. She said it helped her feel like the version of herself she wanted to bring into the day. Not because of vanity, because of stability. Your routine doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to reflect you. A short walk at sunrise, a moment of prayer, feeding the birds, pulling out your best sweater for no reason at all. It's not about keeping busy, it's about staying connected to yourself. Because when the rest of the world feels like it's trying to take over your day, your small routine is a quiet way of saying, not this part's mine. And now, let's talk about something that may feel small, but runs deep. Because how you present yourself to the world, even when no one's watching, can have a profound impact on how much of your dignity you hold on to. Number 3, protect your image, but on your terms. There's a moment in aging that no one talks about. It's not when your hair goes gray. It's when you realize people stop expecting you to care. They assume you've given up. That comfort now means no effort. That showing up in sweats every day is somehow just part of getting older. But for a lot of people, especially those who age with dignity, how they present themselves still matters deeply. Not for vanity, not for attention, but for identity. Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 88, lives alone, arthritis in both hands, can't drive anymore. But every Sunday, she picks out her earrings the night before, the good ones, the ones that catch the light. And she matches her blouse to her lipstick, like it's still 1962, and she's heading to the dance hall. I asked her once why she still bothers. She looked at me and said, "Because when I look in the mirror, I want to see someone I recognize." That hit me hard, because dignity lives in the details. Clean clothes, trimmed nails, shoes you actually picked out yourself. Not because you have somewhere important to go, but because you are still important. You don't have to be fancy. You don't need to follow trends, but you do deserve to feel like yourself. Not invisible, not washed out, not left behind. And if you've stopped putting in effort because people around you act like it doesn't matter, let this be your permission to take that back. Reclaim your image on your terms. Dress with care because it makes you feel grounded. Shave, moisturize, style your hair or don't, but do it because it says something to your brain. I'm still here, and I still matter. Because how you show up in the world doesn't just shape how others treat you, it shapes how you treat yourself. And sometimes, that quiet act of pride, it's the first crack in the wall of shame that aging tries to build. Now, let's shift to something just as powerful, but maybe a little harder to talk about, because there's one thing that strips dignity faster than anything else, and it's the way we respond to our own limits. Number 4, don't apologize for your limits, just name them. Aging isn't just about change. It's about learning how to live in the changes without letting them steal your dignity. And one of the fastest ways dignity slips through your fingers is when you start apologizing for simply being where you are. Sorry, I'm slow. Sorry, my hearing's bad. Sorry, my memory's not what it used to be. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an apology for the reality of your body. You're not broken. You're just human. And you're in a different season now. Let me tell you about Marcia. She's 86, walks with a cane, and she's been on the same block for 40 years. She used to lead the neighborhood watch group. Now she brings cookies to their meetings instead. One day, someone asked if she wanted help down the stairs, and she smiled and said, "My knees have their own agenda today, so I'll just take the rail and go slow. But I've got it." No shame, no apology, just a statement of fact, delivered with grace. That moment stuck with me, because she didn't deny her limit. But she also didn't become it. There's so much power in that balance. Instead of apologizing, try this. I move slower these days, so let's take our time. My memory takes a second to catch up, but it gets there. I need a little help with this, but I'll let you know how you can support me. See the difference? You're not shrinking, you're setting the terms, you're not asking for pity, you're just stating what's true without judgment. Because the people who age with dignity don't pretend they're 40. They simply refuse to let their limitations define them. And if you can hold that line between awareness and apology, you'll feel a shift. Not just in how others see you, but in how you carry yourself. And speaking of how others see you, there's one more piece we need to talk about. Because even if you've got the confidence, the routines, the self-respect, if you don't stay connected, you start to fade in a different way. Let's talk about that next. Number 5, keep connecting, even when it's awkward. Let's be honest, as we get older, it gets easier to disappear, not because we want to, but because the world doesn't always make it easy to stay visible. Friends move away, family gets busy, and suddenly it feels like life is moving forward without you in it. You start thinking, I don't want to bother anyone. They're busy. If they wanted to talk, they'd reach out. And quietly, connection fades. But here's the truth. Dignity doesn't survive in isolation. It needs connection, not just polite conversation, but real, meaningful interaction. The kind that reminds you, I still belong somewhere. I still matter to someone. Let me tell you about Don. He's 90, lost his wife 3 years ago, and for a while, he just stopped showing up. No more Sunday brunch with his neighbors, no more coffee at the corner shop. He said it felt easier to stay home than to answer the same questions about how he was doing. He didn't want to cry in front of anyone, didn't want to bring the mood down, didn't want to be that guy. But one day, a neighbor knocked on his door and said, "It is not the same without you." 7 simple words, and something in him cracked open. Now Don hosts a game night every other Friday. It's not fancy, just some cards, coffee, and the same few friends who have known each other since the 80s. Sometimes they don't even play the game. They just sit around, share snacks, and tell the same stories again and again. But Don says it's the one time in his week he feels most like himself. That's the thing. Connection doesn't have to be big. It just has to be intentional. So send the text, make the call, wave to your neighbor, start a monthly lunch with someone you miss, even if it feels a little awkward, even if it's been a while. Because when you stop reaching out, you start fading. And that sense of fading, that's what steals dignity faster than any wrinkle or gray hair ever could. Staying connected keeps you relevant. It reminds others you're still here. And more importantly, it reminds you that you're still you. Now, let's take everything we've talked about and bring it full circle, because all 5 of these habits connect in one powerful way. And if you can hold on to that one truth, you'll never have to question your worth, no matter your age. Let's wrap it up. So what do these 5 habits have in common? They're not about staying young. They're not about pretending nothing has changed. They're about holding on to the parts of you that matter most, no matter what changes. Because dignity isn't something someone gives you, it's something you own. You protect it every time you speak up, every time you claim a small part of your day, every time you show up for yourself, even when it's hard. And the truth is, you don't have to do it all perfectly. You just have to do it intentionally. One quiet habit, one confident moment, one honest connection at a time. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Tell me, what's one thing you do to protect your dignity today? And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Because this community is here to remind you that aging with strength and self-respect is still possible. And as always, stay strong.